Welcome to YOUCANIC. In this video we're going to troubleshoot lights and relays on this Mazda with a YOUCANIC scanner. So what you need to do is you need to plug the YOUCANIC adapter into the OBD2 port, and all Mazdas have this port under the dashboard. And then once you do that, you press the start button twice without pressing the brake pedal, or just simply turn the ignition on, and all your lights are going to come on the dash. And then what you need to do next is you need to turn on the YOUCANIC scanner and go to diagnostics and select Mazda, and then you can do smart VIN. It will automatically detect which model you have. And then here we have a 2021 Mazda CX-9. Go to control modules, and then we have two body control modules. They are responsible for controlling a lot of the lights and relays and wipers and horn and things like that. First, I look at front body control module. So if you have fault codes or if you have issues that are going on, you can read the codes. Switch on the ignition, we already did that. And then here we'll see a number of fault codes. Now if the car was never scanned for, or hasn't been scanned for a long time, there might be a lot of old codes in here. So what we recommend is to just clear them and then first save them, so they're in the device if you need to look at them later, but then clear them and then see if any of them return. So you can simply just hit clear codes, and it's just going to clear the code from that module. And if it's the issue is still present, it'll just come back after you drive a couple of times. But you can go to live data, and this is good now for troubleshooting, because if you have a light that's not turning on, at least you can check the status. What is the car thing? Is the car has actually turned that on? So battery temperature, there's that. Brake switch, let's say your brakes are not working, the brake switch is not being pressed right now, it's off. If you press the brake pedal and this still stays on, you most likely have a bad brake switch. So this is where these live data really can come in handy. The same thing, you have a lot of ABS and a lot of remote start and a lot of light sensors and so on. You can turn on, you can see the status, what the car is actually doing, and you can check that. Now a lot of times you might need a multimeter to check the different circuits, but this is a good starting point. You can graph a lot of data if you want it. You can graph 2, or you can graph up to 4 different light data. You just have them right here, and then you just graph them. Let's go back though and go to active test, because what you can do under active tests, for example, fog lights, fog lamps, you can turn them on and off using the scanner. So this will help you determine, do I have a bad switch, or do I have, so fog lights, we turn them on, we turn them back off, and you can check on the car. So if you have something that's not working, you can hazard lights, headlights, and so on. Now, like I said earlier, this is just the first step. You're just using the scan tool to turn things on. So it can be good for troubleshooting, and you eliminate the fact maybe you have a bad switch. So this is easy too. But if the problem is still there, like your lights still don't turn on, sometimes you have to dig further with the multimeter and check voltages and so on. But we're looking at the front body control module. Let's take a quick look at the rear body control module. It controls basically the half part of the car, the half back part. You can read codes in this module as well. Switch on the ignition, and we have switched that on already. And you can see here hood switch and driver's door switch, and battery voltage was too low. You can just save them. Save, print, email, whatever you like. Save, just saves it on the device. But if you go back here, you can clear those codes and see if any of them came back. As we said earlier, live data now. Similar, but we're looking at live data for the back part of the car. So you see things like rear brake lights and so on in here. Horn relays monitored by that, hood switches and so on. So you can, it just depends how the manufacturer broke down. This is really your front main fuse box, and then you have the rear body or the rear fuse box. So it's kind of where you're looking at. But yeah, you can see, look at these values live, and then if I go back here one more time, active test, we are still in the rear body control module, but you can see signal, you can activate the door locks, rear fog lights, rear wiper motor, reverse lamps, and so on. So right now, for example, we don't need to switch the transmission in reverse. We can simply come here, turn on the reverse lights, and go look at the car and see that the reverse lights are turned on, because they should be if everything is working correctly. But yeah, that's it. There's how to do a lot of diagnosing on Mazdas and where to go if you have issues. Now it's always a good idea to run a quick scan and take a look at all the control modules and see if the car wasn't scanned or diagnosed or maintained recently. You can run a full scan, save it, then at the bottom here hit erase. It'll clear all the codes from that it can clear. All the codes are old, any current issues won't clear, or if it's current it'll just clear momentarily and you start the car, it comes right back. But this becomes available or erase, and it goes through all these control modules one by one, and it will erase your codes. And that's good, because sometimes you can have codes that happened 2 years ago and they're just not an issue. Maybe it was a dead battery that died and triggered a lot of fault codes, which is very common. But it's just, they can be misleading. So you erase them and then you drive the car and then you see where you have codes that came back on again. But that's it. We hope you found this video helpful, and thank you for watching YOUCANIC, where you can be the mechanic.